Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm chatting about how you can recognize yourself when you're going through a nervous breakdown or before you go through a nervous breakdown, how I felt during my own nervous breakdown and what I have learned from it. So if you've been interested in this topic and understanding more about it and my experience with it, then just keep on watching. Today's a little bit more of a serious video, so of course I have to put out a disclaimer to say that I am not a doctor nor am I a psychologist or anything of the sort. I'm basically just sharing my experience having a nervous breakdown and what I've learned about it. So about 5 years ago, I was working and studying, and I was working full-time, 8 to 5, and I was studying full-time through the online university, and the degree was quite demanding, as well as my job being quite demanding. Sometimes I would have to work after hours, and sometimes work would carry on, late into the evening. So I didn't always have time to study at night. And at that point, 5 years ago, that's when load shedding had first started here, while in Cape Town. For me, I didn't experience it before. I've only been in Cape Town since like 2014. So I would get home and then there would be no electricity, so I wouldn't be able to cook and I wouldn't be able to eat anything, and then I wouldn't be able to study because maybe my laptop wouldn't be charged, or there was no internet, or I couldn't access things online. So I began not sleeping. And then I also had a roommate, and he stayed in a separate room, but we shared the bathroom and the kitchen. And my roommate would work shifts, and he would come at late hours, and also he was an alcoholic, so he would drink, and then when he would come in, he would use the microwave at like 3 in the morning, and that would disturb my sleep. So I went on for like nights upon nights upon nights, not getting any sleep, trying to work, trying to study, more pressure at work, more pressure with exams, and just came crashing down. And what eventually happened was that I lost it. So I just felt like I wasn't myself. I was disorientated. I spoke to my boss, my manager. I was not in a good frame of mind. I didn't make sense. I was speaking in loops, and I was just saying the same thing over and over again. I was like delusional. I was hearing things, maybe hallucinating. I was not in a good frame of mind. So I obviously went to the doctor and spent some time and like recuperated and recovered. And the recovery would have went smoothly if I also was in an environment that was my own, but it wasn't. So it also took a dip, and then I ended up taking like a whole month off work and recovering at home. So my mom came, she stayed with me, she helped me through that process. I think I was in a really mild anxiety med just to help me sleep, and eventually I recovered, and I had to see a psychologist and a psychiatrist in that recovery stage to make sure that I was okay. So yeah, it was quite a challenging time. It was not easy. It was very disorientating, and even now sometimes when I think back on it, it's like, sure, I can't believe that actually happened. And now I realize, like, it was through then that I realized, like, I have to take care of myself, and that's when I implemented more of the things that I learned growing up, which is journaling and writing, drawing, meditation, yoga, all of practices that help me spiritually and mentally as well. And so I started getting my life back on track. So in this video, what I wanted to chat about is how you can prevent that. So I'm going to post a video following this video about how I reset and how I recover from burnout, so that this will benefit you, and you can also like take from that and understand, like, you never want to get to that point where you're going to be too overwhelmed, where you can't do all the things you need to do and you can't live a normal life because you're suffering from burnout, or perhaps you're on the verge of a nervous breakdown. I think right now in lockdown, we are working much harder. We are doing multiple things. We're trying to, some of us, recuperate from maybe some losses, financial losses. Your business may have closed and you need to start up again, or whatever it is. There's a lot going on, and it's so important that we also take care of ourselves mentally. And so I wanted to share this story with you so that you also understand that you can't do everything, and that everything, you don't need to be switched on all the time. Nothing is more important than your mental health. And yeah, so what I've learned from that is that obviously I can put pressure on myself, but I can't put pressure on myself to the extent where it is damaging to me and my mental health. I am a perfectionist, and I do struggle with things being wrong, and I've learned to just sometimes just accept it for what it is, and that I can't be in control of things that I can't control. So I've learned to just not try to control things out of my control. And also I've learned to slow down a bit, to make sure that I have rest, make sure I practice self-care every single day, even if it's just one thing, just reading or writing or journaling, meditating, just one thing every single day makes such a big difference in my life. I've also learned to, not do things that don't make me happy, and I think that was part of it. Like my job, I wasn't happy with that. I wasn't happy with what I was studying, and everything came crashing down because I wasn't happy. So I think also to choose things that make you happy, that makes you full. And yeah, sometimes you really need some time to figure that out, but ultimately that's what you want. You don't want to be stressed over things that you don't even like. Yeah. So another thing that I've also learned is that you can't be the best at everything. So I wanted to be the best at my job, I wanted to be the best at my degree, I wanted to be the best, just person in general, and nobody's the best. You can't be the best of every single facet of your life. You can be the best maybe in your career, or you can be the best maybe in terms of like your studying. But to be the best at both worlds is, maybe some geniuses can do it, but it's not really attainable. So I need to always sit back and ask myself, like, do I want to succeed and do well, or do I want to be the best? And why do I need to challenge that mentality to say, like, you did good, you did great, stop being hard on yourself. And I think we're really hard on ourselves all the time, and we always want to be the best that we can be, but at the same time it's not at any cost of our mental health. And yeah, so tips to just recognize that you are on the verge of meltdown or burnout is when you feel overwhelmed to the sense like you just want to shut down. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to even like brush your teeth. You don't want to like get dressed, clean. You don't want to clean the house. Everything's in a state. You stop doing the things that you would normally do, like wake up, shower, brush your teeth. That's a big sign. Or you leave everything all over the room for days. You don't even care about any hygiene. That's another symptom of it. You feel disorientated, you speak in loops, you don't make any sense, your perception of reality is just out of whack. Like if you speak to someone, you're like, no, you don't sound yourself. That's another sign as well. And another sign is just feeling of hopelessness. You just want to shut down into a dark hole in a corner and not like speak to anyone or do anything. I think, yeah, those were the big ones for me. And, in some way, I obviously would not wish that upon anyone, and I don't wish it upon myself. But in some way, at a young age, I was only 22, I learned from that. And I look at it in a way that is something that has challenged and maybe too over challenged me, if that's even a word. But I've learned from it, and I now know how to prevent it and to make sure that this doesn't happen again. So if I can help one of you out there, I just wanted to share this information with you. Like I said, I'm not a doctor or a psychologist or a psychiatrist or any of the above, but I wanted to share my story with you, and I hope that you will learn something from this. So thank you so much for watching this video. I do hope you tune into my next video where I show you how I reset and prevent burnout and just be myself and just recuperate. Yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in my next one.